This is a question from my Math Lab homework in section 16.5, problem number 8. It's a question about domain and range. And first we'll take up the topic of domain. And looking at the graph, we see that the domain, remember, is your x values. And because the graph continues up and out forever, even though there's also down and out forever, that means that the domain is negative infinity to infinity. The range, on the other hand, consists of the y values. And in this particular case, there are some y values that are excluded from the range. And those are the values of y that are never a part of the graph. And those values are the values from -2 to 2. So in order to exclude -2 to 2, when we look at the range values, and because they're range values, we're going to make a vertical number line. And here's the point 0 on the y-axis, and here's the point +2 on the y-axis, and here's the point -2 on the y-axis. And so the top of the graph is at positive infinity, and the bottom of the graph is at negative infinity, which of course is not actually numbers, but it's just saying that the number line goes on forever. And since we need to exclude all the values between -2 and 2, then the range values will include -2 and 2, but it won't include numbers like -1 or +1 or 1/2 or any other numbers between 2 and -2. So the range does go up from there. Which means that it goes from 2 to infinity. And it also goes down from -2 to negative infinity. And the way that you say that is, since we begin with negative infinity, because you always begin with your bottom number, your lowest number, we'll start with negative infinity. And negative infinity always gets a parentheses in interval notation. And then it goes up to, and it includes -2. So that means we'll use the square bracket. And then the other piece of the range begins at +2 and goes on to positive infinity. And you don't necessarily have to put the positive sign, but I put it there just for the emphasis. And since it's either this interval or that interval, then the way that we say that in set notation is with the word U, or the symbol U, which is a set notation for the word or. We can't say, you can also say that it's and or. But it's just to indicate that these two pieces are joined for the range. So I hope that clears up the confusion about how the range is, because it would not be from negative infinity to infinity because, once again, of those excluded values there that the graph does not take on for y.